Today I'm going to be making my Valentine's Day chocolate ganache mini heart cakes. So let's get on with the ingredients. 2 eggs, 2/3 of a cup of unsalted butter at room temperature, 2 cups of regular white sugar, 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of milk, 1/4 cup of regular cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1½ tablespoons of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and red food coloring. A recipe note: if you are using salted butter, simply omit the salt. So those are all the ingredients for the cake. Later on, I'll show you the ingredients for our chocolate ganache. Alright, our first step is to get all of our lovely butter into a bowl. There we go. And I also want you to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we've got our butter, and I'm going to get all of our sugar in there, just like that. And then we're going to cream this together. So I just get it on speed number 1, and I'm just going to slowly incorporate all of this without making too much of a mess. So to make this a little faster, I'll just come back when it's all creamed together. So what you want to do is just slowly get the butter and the sugar incorporated. So just cream it up. So I'll keep doing this, and I'll be back in a minute or so. So I've been mixing about a minute or so. So that's pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll take our first egg and pop that in. So that's egg number 1. And I'll just get that incorporated. The warmer your butter is, the easier this step will be. If you have butter that's, not that soft, it's going to be extremely difficult to get this kind of mixture. So make sure your butter comes out of the fridge many hours before you want to do this recipe. You can see that the egg is helping combine everything together here. So then I'll get egg number 2 in. So there we go. Get my mixer going a little quicker here. And just mix this all together. And you really want to get this creamed up really well. So if it takes you a minute or 2, that's fine. So what I'll do is I'll pause the film here. I'm just going to mix this for about another minute, and then I'll come back. Alright, that's nicely mixed. So now our next step, I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I will bring over a smaller bowl. And what we're going to do is we're going to sift all of our dry ingredients. So I have the flour. So just get into there. You can use a larger bowl. And we'll just get that right in there. And then our cocoa powder. There we go. Our baking powder. Our baking soda. And our salt. And we'll just give that a little shake, rattle and roll. And what we're going to do is we're going to alternate with our milk and this dry mixture as we combine it to our larger bowl. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I'll bring back our first bowl. There we go. And what I have here is I have our milk. I'm just going to pour vanilla right into our milk, and also the vinegar. I'm just going to pour that in. And what we'll do, I'll just loosen this up a little bit by adding a little bit of this mixture here. And don't worry about the curdling when you pour the vinegar into the milk. That's totally fine. That's normal. So there we go. And then I will add in a little bit of our dry mixture. We're just gonna get our mixer on low so we don't have a big powder cloud of dust blowing all over. And I'll just slowly mix that in. Add a little bit more milk. Mix that in. And then some more dry ingredient. There we go. So I'm going to move this off to the side a little bit here. What we're going to do now, while I'm mixing this, I just want to talk about the food coloring. So I have red food coloring here, and I'm going to use about a teaspoon of this, and I'm going to mix it into the milk, and then we will put that in as our last addition. So I'm just going to pause right now, and I'm going to get that ready, and I'll be back in 1 second. I also wanted to mention our oven is preheated right now to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So here is my food coloring, and I want to use enough so that we have, you know, some red going on in our cake. So I'm just going to take some out here. You can see how quickly that changes color. I'm going to add a little bit more. We'll just get the back of a spoon. We'll just get that in there. I'm not measuring this, so, you know, about a teaspoon or so. There we go. Okay, so I'll continue mixing this. You can see our liquid mixture is really red right now, pinkish red. So I'll get this going a little bit faster. Just like that. All right, there we go. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. I'll add in some more of our wet. That will really loosen this up again. Alright, and then I'm going to add in the rest of our dry ingredients, and I will slowly mix this. So I'll mix this for a little while, and when it's almost ready I'll come back live. Alright, and I'll add in our last little bit of wet. So just get that slowly in there. Just want to make sure I get all of the food coloring in. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, so this has completely incorporated and everything looks great, so that's perfect. Okay. Okay, so at this point right now, what we could do is we could just take our regular cake tins, put it into a cake tin, and bake it like that. However, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making some tiny little heart cakes like this size using a cookie cutter. And so what I want to do today is I'm going to take the cake batter and I'm going to put it onto parchment paper, and I'm going to bake it in my baking tray just like this. So I'll get all of this down. So you're wondering why I'm doing this. Well, I want the cake to be much thinner because I want to make more tiny little heart cakes out of this batter. So by doing this like this, what I'm going to be able to do is really control much better how much cake I'm actually going to get. So this is going to be a thinner cake, but I'm going to get more tiny cakes out of this. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread this all the way around in my pan. I'm going to switch over to a spatula now. It does look good, and this smells really, really good. And there we go. Beautiful. It's good enough. And I'll just take the tray and just give it a little bounce like that. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop it into my 350 degree oven. When I come back, I'll tell you exactly how long I baked it. And right now, off to the oven we go. All right, there we go. That's extremely hot. That just came out of the oven now. And I did it for exactly 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to let this cool down. So we'll let it cool down and I'll be back in a little while. All right, this is fully cooled down now, and I just wanted to show it to you before we start cutting into it. But you can see the magic of having the parchment paper, and I just wanted to show you how nice and thin this is compared to a regular cake. If we had put this into a regular baking tin, we could have had it that thick, like a regular cake. But I want these to be much thinner because of what I'm doing, because we're going to be making little hearts out of these. So that's it for this part. So now we're going to start cutting into it. Okay, so I have a little heart cookie cutter here. And what I'll do is I'm just going to take it and just place it in a nice spot on my cake and just give it a little push and pull it out. And then very gently just push out the cake. And there we go. And there is our first little heart. There. Perfect. I'm just going to get that on there. So it's a very nice size. It's not too thick. It's exactly what I wanted. I'll do another one. So when you're cutting shapes out of a larger cake, you want to try to place your heart or your shape, in a way so that you don't, waste too much of your cake. So there we go. And we'll just pop that out again. Now, if you found that your cake was super hard to work with, what you could do is slice your cake into a smaller piece and put it in the fridge and just let it chill down a little bit, and that will help with you actually cutting out shapes out of your cake like this. So here we go, let's do another one. So you can see right away that we're going to get a lot of hearts out of this cake. And I'm not actually going to use this whole cake for hearts. I will cut a portion of it up and I'm going to make something else with it, which you won't see on the video. But for this video, I just wanted to show you this little idea. So we'll just get the third one out. There we go. There's nothing from stopping you from using this whole sheet for a lot of these if you were making them for friends or if you had a party going on or something like that. So there we go. So I've got 3 here. Don't they look nice? And this cake batter is really moist, and it makes a beautiful cake. Well, I just wanted to zoom in just to show you how nice these little cakes are. If you want this really red, you're gonna have to add a lot more food coloring. You can see that there's a tint there of red, and I'm not sure if the camera really picks that up, but you can tell that it's red. But there we go. So those are ready to go. So what are we gonna do next? Well, I'm going to make a really simple ganache, and we're going to cover these with ganache. Oh, yummy. Chocolate ganache. So that's our next step. So let's get on with our chocolate ganache. Today I'm using Kirkland brand chocolate chips. Very nice, brand new product from Costco. So I've got 1 cup of chocolate chips. So that's 1 cup in here. And I also have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and this is 35% cream. And I've heated this in the microwave. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and pour it right over the chocolate. And I'm just going to let that sit for a while. And we're just going to let that all come together. And then I just got a spatula. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start moving the chocolate around so that it gets really friendly with the cream. And I heated my cream in the microwave, so it was very hot. And if you find that your cream isn't fully melting the chocolate, then what you can do is take the whole mixture, just like this in the bowl, and put it in the microwave and just put it on for about 10 seconds at a time. You can use regular mode. Just make sure you watch it so that you don't, have it overflow in your microwave. So I can feel that the chocolate is really starting to melt now. You can also use a whisk if you wish. And we'll just do this. And this is chocolate ganache in its simplest form. You can see how the magic is starting to happen. It's just starting to come together. Chocolate and cream. They were made for one another. Oh yes, they were. I wish you could smell this. It smells very, very good. And we'll just keep going at this. You can really start seeing it combining now. It's like magic. It's like the chocolate is just appearing out of nowhere. And right now, this is very, very liquidy. However, if you chilled this down, it would solidify quite nicely. Now, if you're going to pour this on a cake, what you want to do is you want to let this cool, because the more liquidy it is, the less is actually going to stay on the top of your cake or in the middle of the cake or wherever you're going to use it. So what you would want to do is let it chill down a little bit. So what you can do is just leave it on the counter, or what you can do to quicken the process is you can put it in the fridge to chill it down, and then just stir it every 10 minutes or so, and that will do the trick. Doesn't that look amazing? I wish you could smell this. This smells so good. Look at that. Beautiful. And when you're making ganache, you want to use 35% cream. You do not want to use 10%. This is the way to go. And look at that. Beautiful. And that is very, very simple and easy chocolate ganache. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to put this in the fridge and I'm going to let it chill down, and then we're going to use it with our cake a little later on. What I want to do now is make some little pink hearts, and I've taken some candy melts and I just put them into a larger bowl and I microwave them until the chocolate was melted, and then I just put it into a little one of these little resealable, Ziploc baggy things. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the end and I'm just going to do a little cut, just a little cut, just like that. Okay, make sure you get the little piece of plastic away from your work area. And now that we've got this in here, we can just grab it all up like a piping bag, just like this. Okay, and we can start piping out some very, very simple hearts. So I'm going to do it upside down because it's easier for me to do this, but like that. And there we go. And you can fill that in if you wish. I'll do another one. Just like that. And what I'll do now is I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit better. And I've zoomed in a little bit now. And so let's go again. So where are we? About here. We'll just start here. And there we go. Nothing fancy. And there we go. You can also do this in a piping bag, or you can make a little cornet out of parchment paper, but I just thought this is something that everyone would have in their kitchen, the recyclable bags here that I'm using. And where are we? Right here. I guess they're disposable bags, not recyclable. I'll go around. There we go. There we go. And we'll do another one right in here. There we go. Beautiful. So you can see how easy that is. And let's just zoom out a little bit. And there we go. Very cute and a nice little finish for our Valentine heart cakes. Okay, so I'm going to let these chill and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so our next step is to cover our nice Valentine's cakes with some nice chocolate ganache that we just made. I let it chill a little bit in the fridge, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just using a measuring spoon, and I'm just going to grab it like that and just pour it right over. Just like that. And it doesn't matter about the ganache going over, because I will be able to reuse this because it's going onto the parchment underneath. So just pour it on, just like that. You can spread it too if you wish. I'm not going to bother. Just get it on just like that. That's what's nice about doing it this way, because everything is reusable. I'm going to get a little bit over here on that side. And then what I'm going to do, let me just make sure I've got everything pretty well. And then I'm going to pop these now into the fridge and let them chill, and then I'll be back and we'll finish these off. I just brought these out of the fridge. They were in there for about 15 minutes just to set the ganache up. I just wanted it to get nicely chilled. And our final step is to take our little chocolate hearts. I'm just going to peel them right off the parchment paper, and you can see how nicely that just comes right off like that. And then we can just take it and just place it right on the top there, just like that. One. And then just choose another nice one. Just pull it off and get that one on there. There we go. And choose another one. Maybe this one here. And that one there will go this way. And we'll just get that nicely there and then drop it. And perfect. And there we go. So these are my chocolate ganache mini heart cakes for Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.